Okay, I'm going to attempt to make my pecan pie. I get a whole lot of compliments on my pies. I like them myself. I'm not that crazy about pies, but if I'm going to have one, it's going to be a pecan. And I usually make 2 or 3 at a time instead of one, but I'm making this for my neighbor that came and helped me work on the yard. All right, he didn't help me, he did it. He and another guy. Okay, the first thing I do is lightly flour my counter after I clean it real well. And then I use the, I like Pillsbury, but I picked this one up at Walmart. They're just as good. I have had some that are better, but I can't remember the name of them. Okay, I just flatten this out a little bit. You don't want to put too much flour or it'll dry out your crust, especially if you're in drier areas of the country. I found that out when I was in California. I was making an apple pie for my cousins, and it was dry when I took it out of the wrapper, and then you put the flour side down, and that was the ugliest pie I ever made in my life. And I like them to be pretty, not only good, but pretty. Okay, and then I do mine under. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'll show you in just a second. I make this little pattern like this all the way around, just pinch it up. I'm sure you already know that, but as sure as I don't do it, someone will ask me how I did that. That's just how it goes on YouTube. Okay, I've got my oven preheating, and I preheat it on about 375 is according to how hot your oven is. And then after you do your little thing around the edges here, I set mine back in the refrigerator until I mix up everything, because the cooler your shell is, the more it's going to stand up in the oven and hold up. So excuse me just a minute while I walk over here. It feels like the pie crust was just about right. And I love the ones that are pre-made. They're no better than homemade, but after I taste one, my sister makes the best pie crust, the best pies, period. When we discovered these roll-up ones, I'm having a hard time today because I had a hard time last night. I didn't sleep well all night. My leg got completely better, and I don't know, I must have ate some things I shouldn't. My son brought me, okay, let me get back to the pie. I use like 2/3 of a stick of butter, real butter. And I use between 1/2 and 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Most people get way too much sugar in their pies and they're not good. Okay, and then I use light corn syrup instead of the dark, because like I said, I want my pie to turn out pretty. About 1.5 cups in a normal size pie pan of corn syrup. If you want to know the truth, I made a pie Friday, and I was making it I was gonna post on YouTube, and I forgot to put butter in it. That's the first time I've made a pie. Not that I wouldn't do that, I've done that before. And what I do, instead of throwing my pie away, is I get my butter and slice it up and spread it all over the pie and stick it in the oven and put it on broil till it melts it. It was still good. I've got the pie. I had a little piece of it. I had a tiny little piece of it. I just had to see what it tastes like. Okay, 1.5 cups corn syrup, 3/4 cup of sugar. I'm gonna have to lick my fingers because I don't want to keep running over to the sink, and I can't stand my fingers to be sticky. I should have put 3 eggs. I should have put them in here first, but it'll all come out in the end. My refrigerator went completely out last night. I kept telling my son, we have to have a new refrigerator, and he kept saying he knew somebody that had some good deals on them, so we kind of had a little, it wasn't too little, we had a big disagreement last night, so I ended up getting a refrigerator about 7 o'clock last night. Let me go throw this mess away. I guess I can put my trash over here until I get done. Okay, and since I've been home, I can't find my mixer. Can you believe that? I don't know what anybody would have wanted with my mixer, but okay, and I put about a teaspoon of pure vanilla. Please stand up there. Thank you. Okay, you don't need much if it's pure vanilla. I don't remember if I had a story going and I didn't finish it or not. I almost didn't do this, but I had to make this pie because I had already called Ronnie, my neighbor, to tell him. I told him I already had made it. And the more I thought about it, I thought I'm not going to give him that pie that's not completely the way I want it to be. My sister and I used to make pies for church bazaars. Let me get my crust. And one weekend, believe it or not, we made 99 pies. We did it. And it would be at the mall. And we would have them sold out by noon. You just couldn't keep them. People would come in the mall and you'd hear them say, where's that church booth where those women make those pies? True story. And at that time I was working, and I mean I worked hard. So I'd drop off the pies and then I usually left and went to get some rest. But we enjoyed it. I still enjoy it sometime, but last night, I've just had a hard time since I've been home. I've had some good times, but I'm just learning all about this stuff with my leg, and I'm getting ready to look up a chiropractor because I think that's going to be my answer. And if I can get this package open, I don't mix my pecans inside my pie filling because they burn easily. I guess with the butter and it rising to the top, well, nothing really rises. I just tell stuff and then I change my story because there's nothing in here to rise. But I completely cover it with pecans. You don't want a ton of them in there, but just enough to cover it. And I'm using this little oven because it's just, well, I like to make pies in it. And I've got it on 375, and I just watch my pie crust, and when it starts to turn brown, then I turn it down to like 325, 340, something like that. And I don't time mine. When I see that it looks like it's bubbling a little bit inside, I just go kind of tap it on top, and I can tell when it's done, because I don't like it overdone and I don't like it underdone. So when the pie is finished, I'll show it to you. Okay, and here we are with the finished product, and my pie turned out pretty good. But to be honest with you, I was telling you about putting the butter on top of the other pie that I made because I'd forgotten to put butter in it, so I forgot and left my oven on broil. I caught it in time. It didn't burn, but my pie was a little darker than I wanted it to be. But I'm sure it's going to be delicious because I can tell by the way it looks and feels. So here you go, very simple, easy, and delicious. And I'm letting you see my junky, it ain't that junky, my kitchen. I've worked so hard, I've been just almost tearing the house down to rebuild it again. And I can't get a lot of people to cooperate with me, and I hate to get mad and demand they do it, but sometimes that's what you have to do. So I'm getting there. I still have some huge projects I've got to do that I can't do myself. I've got to try to get somebody to do it for me. So that's it for the day. I hope you enjoyed the pie. I hope you like pecan pie. I don't know what my camera's doing. It's getting light and dark. I never get my lighting right. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.